My name is Jeff Bennett. I have been wood turning since 2001, 2002. I was looking for a hobby, a magazine that had a cover with a guy who did some hollow forms, hollow vessels. They were attractive. I went out and bought a lathe, started to try to teach myself in the basement. After a busy day at work or a difficult time, being able to go down and into my shop and create something, even if it's nothing spectacular, even if it's a finger top, a spinning top. It's a real sense of accomplishment to take a log, a raw piece of wood, and turn it into a functional, attractive item. Just an opportunity to express myself a little bit, an opportunity to decompress. It's a lot of things. Wood turning is not an activity that requires a lot of manual dexterity. You know, there's a lot of body movement that requires a lot of hand dexterity. In my particular situation, sometimes they'll require two hands to operate, depending on the manufacturer, the style of chuck. When I'm doing something that requires two hands like that, I'm going to drop it a lot of the time. But, you know, that's okay. I'll stop, I'll pick it back up, and I'll go about turning wood.
On different axes.
If you have good body and good legs, but it's not a requirement. I mean, there were people in there that were in wheelchairs that turn wood. I really want to focus on being a better wood turner. I want to be a really good wood turner. Kind of what I do.
Some woman had the best idea. You can put in a few little sidewalks and then along the side.
Yes, I was also the chair of the nominating committee. The chair of the nominating committee is responsible with, and in that list, there are several women that said maybe next year, maybe the year after that. So we're going to keep that database.
Stuffing the wood, and that's how you get it big. And just float across that surface and take out what I want. If I have a little tiny ridge, I just cruise over.
That we are doing the hollowing, so everything is hollowed to this open. It was difficult to check the thickness here because I had the ring which prevented me to check.
I haven't been to a symposium since 2006. I think I enjoyed this one much more. The demonstrations this year were incredible, and I think I can take skills that I learned here back and use them in my work. And it was great to be able to connect with those people here. About 6 months ago, Andy Sullivan contacted me and asked me to participate in her Turning with Disabilities. I think I enjoyed this one much more. I don't think anybody in that room is disabled to the point where they can't do most things that they want to do, because everybody in there is turning wood. They may not be a nationally recognized demonstrator at this symposium, but they're all doing something creative. They're all enjoying themselves. and they're all getting something from it.
There's so many different things that you can make a pen out of. You can take a big pen and use just the guts of it.
Andy Sullivan is a woman turner that is blind. She has started a chapter in Tampa. This is their 3rd year. Every class that they have more students than they can take. It's been very successful.
This would be the part where you put it together on the other end. And they use a Parker refill in case. We started a program for the blind wood turners at the Lighthouse for the Blind in Tampa over 3 years ago. This year we had so many people in that it was very interactive. You don't have to be blind or quadriplegic or missing an arm. Those are the extreme circumstances, but I think most folks fall into the my knees hurt and I can't stand, I have arthritis, how do I turn with arthritis? And we try to cover that in our panel, and we want to make it as interactive as we can. When we put this pen together a little bit later, you're going to have a front here.
We had for the second time our Turning with the Disabled Veterans program at the symposium, and we had a group of 12 disabled veterans, I think 3 which were in World War II, which I thought was very interesting, and they have so much more to add. And they all enjoyed it, all of them. It was their first pen they've ever done.
And now, take this in as hard as you can. Put that down there.
Well, you're fine. You're going to put the back end in.
I'm from Albuquerque.
I go every Monday with a group called Project Healing Waters. And we go to the Veterans Hospital in Aspinwall. And we work with the disabled veterans and teach them to tie flies, and we teach them to build fly rods. And we'll spend a couple hours each week turning the reel seat for their fly rod. And I have a feeling that it's going to expand. There are people that aren't interested in the fly fishing that will be interested to turn on the lathe.
Take your hand and hold it up at the top, and then just bring it down. No, hold it up on the wood. A little higher up, higher up, higher up. Just bring it down. That's it.
When you're at that lathe and you've got tools in your hand and you're making something, 2 things happen. Like I said, you don't get concerned about all your other problems. Plus, usually you get something done relatively quickly. And so you get some instant gratification from what you've turned. And I think that's going to be a helpful situation for us.
Yeah, much different.
This was my first experience ever being here, and I thought it was a good experience. But the gentleman that was teaching me, he was 94 years old. He had been doing this 80-some years, and he was very, very patient with me. And he taught me the instrument, the apparatus, he taught me the tools, you know, and he taught me how to use, you know, the basic tools and how to cut and stuff. I was really focused on it.
To match this.
I was very impressed with the safety factors. They had all these pros that helped us. How often you going to get a professional to help you do anything? And it's like if you go to college, you got a professor. You don't have nobody over your shoulder looking at you and when you make a mistake, tell you about that mistake. But you're in this symposium, you're a number that you could learn more in your field one-on-one.
Yeah, right.
Just to get any excess off.
And you see now what you've got is a second coat. Turn it off, please.
Put it on here, just press up, and make sure that it goes in and out. Does it go in and out?
This is
so
the,
it can
this is
see.
the refilled and,
And
and the
make
spring.
sure. So you did a terrific job.
Thank you.
Go Cody!
They felt the way I felt when I first did a piece of wood. I felt empowered. I felt like the world opened up and I was able to do something that I didn't think I could do. And I wanted to share that feeling with others because when you are disabled, sometimes you feel like you can't do things. And I think this helps in so many more ways than just being wood turning.
I really appreciated that gentleman, because it's my first time out, and he had the patience of Job, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like a kid in the dark, and he brought me out of it. And I made a pen that I'm very impressed with, because I'd have never thought I could do something like that,
Very few people do it.
I understand, sir.
It's pretty exciting when you see somebody just come alive when we're, after they learn the techniques and that they can do this and that they have a possibility to shine and to do something that'll be practical for them.
Okay, Charles, team photo.
The symposium here in Pittsburgh, we had it set up so we would help a group of disabled people and then a group of blind people. We'll start at point one and then progress from there.
I was the first blind person accepted into Aramont School of Arts, and I want to pay that forward for others so that we can continue on, and I want to do something that's bigger than myself, to leave behind something good and worthy.
And your piece is going to be in front of you. And then you're going to go down, very gentle. We're going to start out with what they call a scraper, if we have that over there. And when they get too small, then you don't get an accurate fitting. So after a while, you have to throw them out and get new ones. Now, people that are very sighted.
This program is a really special program in the fact that they're going to have children, blind children. So it'll be our first wood turning program with children. So I'm very excited about that opportunity because the children bring such a new light to everything, and they're so excitable and they have no preconceptions. That you say, we're going to do this, okay. So that's very exciting and dear to my heart.
Feel that smooth part? Yeah. We can't tighten the nut here. So let's put another piece of tube in.
It's much more difficult, I have to say. When we turned with the blind, it was a little bit scary because, first of all, we didn't want to have an accident with anybody. And it was the first time I recruited 8 of our members of our Turners Club to come and be teachers for the blind. And that was the first time any of those people had touched a lathe or tools.
Until we get almost down to the bushing itself.
Every one of them was very apprehensive about how we were going to do this. And so everybody was a little worried. And it worked out very, very well. Everybody got a pen turned and they were all happy.
Now thread it in. I bet you can do that. See, you're already getting it. Very good.
I feel very small being in this group. I aspire to be every day. Wood turning has given me a platform and a purpose, and we all need a reason to get up out of our bed every day and a reason to move forward in our life. And every day I get up excited about moving forward with the next school and how we can help change other people's lives and empower them to be the best they can be.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Cody just made a pay!
Let me see your pen.
Good job.
I'm guessing you're the boss of this system?
No.
Hey,
uh-oh.
you didn't do this.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Didn't I do this?
He did.
I'll tell you what, I wish my first pen turned out like that, I can tell you that.
No, that's a super job. I'm proud of you.
People will say to me from time to time, I got this problem or I got that problem, and I said, look, if you think you got problems, you come with me on Monday. I'll show you people that have problems. Your problems will pale into insignificance. You never heard them say a thing. You never heard anybody complain yesterday. Everybody was doing what they needed to do and that's the inspiration.
Not yet. I figured I'd let them go
all
first.
the way around.
Feel the different textures. Some are rough, some are smooth. That one you can feel the signature on the back, right? And that's also sycamore wood. Cool. And you can see it's a light colored wood. And if you run your fingers through it, it's really nice and smooth, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah, so is
You see other disabled people who are miserable in life, who use their cane as a crutch, meaning their disability as a crutch. And you're not going to find that here in the disabled who are turning. They accept the challenge and want to turn and want to do better. To think that you're blind and you're going to run your hand over the form to find the form and the shape and correct it, to me is miraculous. So yeah, that's inspiration. AAW is a group we need to encourage the disabled. And I know there's been programs in the past. I hope they continue because they're great programs. And you don't see that here in the wood turning world. You really don't. It takes the disabled and allows them the self-worth. It makes them feel like they're accomplishing something, and it gives them something to go to in the future to look at, rather than sitting around thinking about misery in life. I think all wood turners, we all want to share, we all want to accomplish, we all want to move ahead. After spending 41 years in the garment industry, we had patents and we had secrets, and we hid what we did in garment construction. Here, we share. Everybody shares. I'm Ron Campbell from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I live just outside Grand Rapids. This is my 4th AAW Symposium. I enjoy the challenge of the artistic pieces and doing different things. I spent my whole career in sales, doing demonstrations here at the AAW. I've done presentations my whole life, and I'm just not comfortable joining the demo team here or trying to, again, it goes back to that signature piece and what would I demo and how would I demo it. I don't know, it hasn't interested me. I enjoy being on the vendor floor tremendously. When you're in the demo, you're up front, there's no questions or very few. You don't have that interaction. I enjoy being on the vendor floor. It's inspiring. I get to meet a lot of people. I'm thrilled to be on the vendor floor. And I've got friends all over the world because of it, and I enjoy it. There's another victory there, it's a sale. That'll be the hottest price you ever get on a lathe, if there's any left. So many people are students that I've helped. And then here's Dave with his handicap. He didn't let that stand in the way, didn't use that as an excuse. And I know he found out sawdust and wood shavings is like cocaine. I mean, it's addicting. I mean, it's terribly addicting, and all of a sudden you're into it much deeper than a pen. I mean, it's addicting. That's part of the reward for me too.
Yeah, I haven't sat down.
Well, Ron and I have known each other since high school and so forth, and that I turned with a lot of help from my friend Ron. Ron helped me turn that on the lathe. It's not easy. It just takes time, patience, and practice. One of the things I found in the wood turning world, everybody wants to try and help you learn something new, a different tool, a different technique, a different type of wood. In the wood turning, I consider myself a novice. I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it. I'm at the basic level. One of the other things that has become really, really fun for me is teaching other people how to do this. I'm trying to help them get started with some very basics. A lady we were talking to downstairs today, this is her first attempt at looking at a wood turning. She told me this afternoon she wants to sell all of her sewing machines and go buy a lathe. So you know, there's another inspiration. I had polio as a child. I didn't walk for years, and I used to wear braces from my neck down, and I'm very fortunate now that I only have a small brace on my one leg, and I can stand in front of a lathe, but not for more than 10-15 minutes, and my back isn't so much pain after that. So I turn wood, I play instruments, I fly airplanes. So if I want to do it, I do it. It's that simple.
Just push down on this and turn that off. That way it won't leave an indentation. Just change your tool rep and bring it around the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like this. Yeah. Okay, now you're kind of parallel on that. Sure. And then take this down through here.
The wood that I turn is functional. Everything that I turn, you can use. But most of the wood, there's stuff that Ron turns, is art. That's a God-given gift. I'm inspired by the work that he does in the way of, I don't have the talent to do anything like that, but I so enjoy being around it, learning about it.
Keep raising up.
I do get inspiration from it, but I like doing my little tiny small stuff.
Go toward the center.
There are no barriers. The only barriers are the one that you create yourself. So if you have a will, the fortitude, whatever you want to do it, will make it happen. In my Christian belief, it's very simple. I can get up and say, "Good God, it's morning," or "Good morning, God." And it's an attitude. It's all an attitude. And I choose to have a positive attitude.
Yeah, I haven't sat down. You know, I know these people and I get to meet them every year. I don't take part in the panel. I have taught a number of people with disabilities. I had one girl with macular degeneration. I've taught our friend who lost his arm, Dave with polio, and there's a number of them. I think it's fascinating. Again, it's a group of people who are not going to let their disability stand in the way. It's a group of people who bond together, and wood does bring people together in spite of their handicaps. It comes down to attitude. Attitude is everything in life, and if you let your attitude get in the way or provide you an excuse, you're not going to succeed, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You get back what you give. And if you give a bad attitude in life, you're going to live a bad life. It's just the way it works. It is therapy. It's therapy for all of us. You know, you see somebody like Dave, and much of that has to do with attitude and inability to find something to do in life. To have that net worth, to feel like you have a value and a worth in life, to me that's huge. That's a big part of it. Wood is special. It's a living form, it's a living shape. You never know what's in the bark. There's art beneath the bark. You just got to find it and make it happen. So I struggle with and is my inability to do some of the things I want to do with the wood, because I can see what's there because I see so much in wood.